but I'm interested in your assessment.
We have identified patterns of human rights violations by Syria's armed and security forces. Among them, excessive force was used against peaceful demonstrations and included, inter alia, using live fire to disperse civilian crowds, resorting to snipers to shoot to kill. State forces have shown little or no recognition of the rights of children in the actions taken to quell dissent. Reliable sources indicated that 256 children had been killed by state forces as 9 November.
I'm Ahmed Shawki from the United Arab Emirates News Agency.
Torture, sexual violence, and ill treatment were inflicted on civilians suspected of sympathy with the protests, regardless of their gender or age. The gruesome and extreme nature of torture methods that we describe in the report were used by security forces and in numerous cases resulted in death. The great majority of people who were detained either witnessed or were subjected to torture. Several witnesses and victims emphasized that they were tortured whether they confessed or not confessed. Sexual violence was used against male adults and children detainees. Concerning women, some witnesses told that in place of detention, women were sexually assaulted. The Commission has concluded based on its findings that members of the Syrian army and security force have committed crimes against humanity in their repression of a largely civilian population in the context of a peaceful protest movement. These crimes include murder, torture, rape, and other forms of sexual violence of comparable gravity, imprisonment, or other severe deprivation of liberty, which occur in different locations.
I would like to know if you really...
The Commission has also reached the conclusion that the widespread and systematic violations of human rights in Syria could not have happened without the consent of the highest-ranking state officials. Under international law, the state of Syria is responsible for these violations and bears the duty to ensure that the individual perpetrators would be punished and that the victims receive reparation.
I'll now turn over to our colleagues here in Geneva for a series of questions.